So I had probably been yabbering on far longer than I thought I had, so I don't really have much idea where the camera cut out, but I think I got up to is that basically I kind of from the beginning of 2018, on top of the usual I don't think usual is the word for it, just not unusual for other people, but on top of like the long-term mental health conditions that I have, I developed like a severe depressive episode. As a result, well, it seemed to be very clearly triggered by all the issues I was facing from my university. And in the end, like, I did fight my university case. Yeah, I appealed it, and I have managed to negotiate a deal whereby I can continue my studies. However, now I've taken an interruption, which I will carry on. I'll talk about in a bit. So, yeah, I ended up just going from bad to worse in terms of my mental health. Things got, just really, really bad. I find it quite hard to even think about now at how bad things got. And yeah, it was just, I don't know, the way my therapist talked about it was like, felt like we were firefighting, because it just, and that really is how it felt, that I was just struggling to carry on living, really. And I'll probably do like a more in-depth, like my mental health story at some point, probably when I'm a bit more comfortable with all this. So yeah, kind of as a result of like the risk that I was continually posing to myself, it was agreed, like, for me to move back into my parents, which I did around May of this year, and things started going downhill in the thing, because I tend to like hold myself together in front of my parents more, like in front of my family, and yeah, it was kind of felt like that was worth trying. It's maybe not the best coping mechanism, but it maybe was worth trying to see whether I could cope better there, because kind of living alone in my flat, like, I kind of was considered not safe to. And it was seen as like worth trying before hospital, because as I said, I've had a previous admission in like 2014, and it was actually like a really negative experience, and hugely affected me. As a result, made me terrified of hospitals, and so it actually was seen like as not in my best interest to try and avoid an admission. But anyway, I went to my parents, but in many ways I was just still deteriorating. It was basically the same problem, but in a different place, and trying to hide it on top of that. So it, yeah, just went so downhill. And in July of this year, I had another hospital admission. It was an informal admission, because I kind of felt like it was soon not going to become a choice, so I thought if it's going to happen anyway, I'd prefer to have a bit more control over it. And it was terrifying. I was absolutely terrified, and I actually ended up placed in a hospital that I used to go in. I've written like a blog post about all this, which I'll probably link. But yeah, it was, in many ways, it was a really difficult experience, my hospital admission, but in many ways, it honestly did save my life. And a lot of that was kind of thanks to a particular person. It's quite unbelievable when I say this, but sometimes with me, I just had conversations with some of the staff, like, just completely changed my life. Like, I didn't realise it at the time, but yeah, the power of conversations on benches. So yeah, after that, in the end, my admission was only a week and 2 days of actually being an inpatient, and that was because I keep drinking water. That's PoTS for you. I have to like constantly drink water. Yeah, my admission was only like a week and 2 days because basically something a bit unfortunate happened on the ward, and that was quite traumatic for me, and it was kind of concluded it just wasn't the best, like most suitable environment for me, and I had kind of got a lot better. So what happened after that is that I was like transferred to do like day hospital, to the acute day service. So I'd go to the hospital in the day, and so that was from like the middle of August all the way through to like the middle of September. And yeah, that's when I was introduced to this wonderful thing called patient transport, where it's like the standard patient transport providers for like the NHS, and they take you to hospitals, and actually I found that harder than everything else, so that like kind of took up a lot of my time. Oh yeah, this is quite a big part of my life in that time. In order to be able to like do the day hospital, I had to be living like within a certain area, which my parents wasn't within that area, but my flat was, like, I still was kind of paying rent and that kind of thing, so I was still managed to hang on to my flat. So yeah, I kind of, from the middle of August, I returned to living in my flat, and I was so pleased to be able to do that, because I didn't know if I would ever feel comfortable kind of staying here again, or feel able to, but yeah, I did. Again, it was like a big transition, but that was something that was really positive for me. So after that point, kind of the situation that I'm in now, it kind of felt like not a lot has happened in my life since then. Like mentally I feel a lot better. Well, that's a lie, like a lot. My life has changed considerably because of PoTS. Yeah, so kind of in the time, I've kind of mentioned this in other videos, like in the time where I came out of my hospital admission, was in a bit of denial about it, but like the whole PoTS situation got like an awful lot worse, in like how the symptoms were affecting me. So yeah, I've kind of talked about this in other videos. So yeah, that's been quite a major thing to have happened this year. Then yeah, so the situation I've kind of left in. So as I think I briefly mentioned earlier, I managed to like bring the university issue to a conclusion. Yeah, I actually like ended up having to take like legal action and things, and that's still kind of ongoing, but even that's reaching its conclusion. So yeah, it certainly wasn't, this whole year has not turned out the way I probably envisaged it. It hasn't been the best year, but at the same time, like, it's life. Like, it's probably a year that will have shaped my life considerably, and I'll look back on differently. So yeah, I decided I managed to have a deal where I could return to my studies, which I guess I'll talk about again some more another time, but I decided to interrupt my studies because I just thought after like the year I had, I didn't feel ready to kind of return to my studies, and also because of like the impact that PoTS was having. That's why I mentioned it. I thought, well, I need to try and get things like more sorted out with my health before I return, and like more of a plan in place, like, because I've got all these referrals, and at the moment, like, I kind of don't really have a treatment plan for PoTS because of the slowness of cardiology. Yeah, so yeah, so in a way I'm in a position for the first time in my life where I'm currently unemployed. I had to apply for benefits, and for the first time in my life, and that was kind of a huge deal for me. I'm definitely going to do some videos on like navigating the UK benefit system, because it has been it's been an education, say that sarcastically. Yeah, it is really hard to come to terms with, but basically I'm in this position, as many people are, because I haven't had a choice. And yeah, I'm kind of doing all that because I want to try and carry on with the things that have been going well for me, like being able to live independently. When I return to my studies, it would be good to still be in this flat. So yeah, I've also I have been applying for jobs. Like I knew straight away I basically want to do something completely different to education and just take, well, academia really, take my mind off it all for a year or two. So yeah, like, I don't know, my life changed so much. So yeah, for the first time I had to be acquainted with the wonderful place known as the job centre, which I still hate going to. My whole experience of it is that you kind of end up coming out with a lot more issues than when you went in. I'm in like a position which I've mentioned kind of in my other videos, where I live alone, but my like physical health kind of can make that quite difficult. So as a result of that, again, this will definitely be another video. For the first time again in my life, I had like a social services referral, and which is causing a lot of stress at the moment, so I don't think I'll go any further into that. I've also, oh yeah, I started talking about this and then got sidetracked. I also have been applying for jobs. I desperately want to go back into like learning support work, or I've also applied for like mental health peer support worker roles, because what I have learned this year is that what I find most rewarding is working with people and using drawing upon my experiences to try and help others. And you know, maybe this whole YouTube venture is part of that as well. Yeah, so it's been a bit of a crazy time. Yeah, at the moment I haven't had very much success in terms of the job hunt, and I'm kind of struggling to know why. Again, this could be another video, but I'm hopeful. My plan is that I just desperately want to have a job in the new year to start, because I know like my situation with my PoTS and everything it does limit me, but I'm the kind of person where I feel like I always feel most fulfilled when I've got like a routine, a purpose. And I feel like work will give me that, and almost something to kind of work in terms of managing my symptoms, something to like give me a drive, like a reason, I guess, to see what I can do. It might be a complete disaster, but I guess we'll see. And yeah, and I think it's important to still feel like useful. So I definitely am. Like, I can see, despite my mental health condition, my physical health issues, I feel as though I have so much to give still to others. I certainly didn't feel like that earlier in the year. And it feels important to go with that. It suddenly feel like I'm not paying much attention to this lovely jar I'm attempting to create for a friend. So yeah, I haven't got as far as I thought I would. But yeah, my plan is to like glitterize these jars that you see lined up on here. The rainbow ones don't need glitter because they're so beautiful just as they are. So I guess my reason for like sharing all this is, I don't know, I'm hoping someone out there might relate. Like, it is really difficult coming. I think a lot of people talk about what a mental health admission is like, but a lot of people, what you don't hear about is kind of reintegrating back into like normal life. That can actually be more difficult, and getting the support in place that you need within the community, that has been a bit of an issue for me. And just that, I don't know, everything takes so long. When I'm someone who, once I set my mind to something, I just want to get started straight away. It makes me sound quite impatient, but I can actually be quite a patient person in terms of my work. Yeah, so my main reason for sharing all this is that this has been a very memorable year, but probably for a lot of not so positive reasons. But I think what I've learned this year is that really, like, there is no place so low in life that you can't bring yourself back from. Honest, like, I don't want to get into this too deep, but I really did not feel like there was any point in living. That's how low I felt, and I didn't think I could ever get better. I didn't think I could be helped. I didn't feel like I deserved help. So again, I've written about more, but I did, and now I am pretty stressed out at the moment. Like, life hasn't been, it isn't how I'd want it to be, but at the same time I've realised that I've got everything to live for, and like, yeah, just don't lose hope. If you feel like that, I don't know, even if you feel like you can't be helped, like, you never know what's in store, and kind of take it from me, like, I honestly thought there was no hope for me or my life, but here I am. I've nearly made it into another year, and I just hope that things will be a bit less eventful next year and a bit more happy and enjoyable. Something which I guess I have found through this year is I found some confidence, and I felt more okay with being me. There's kind of a lot more to this, but actually showing people who I was, because you might know this, you might not know this, but I had previously written a mental health blog for a good few years, kind of following my crisis in 2014, and like my Instagram was all anonymous, and I kind of, when I came out of hospital, I felt like I actually feel more okay with myself, and for other people to know, yeah, more about me. So yes, and I think what I learned was, by putting myself out there, people feel more able to connect, and I feel more connected to others. So yeah, this year I kind of found my love of like blogging again, and I guess my love for life, and so I am very near, well, I've kind of set up a new blog, like the Life of Lorna blog, which will kind of be a continuation, like a sister site to my previous anonymous blog, and I've just got to find time to write like my first post, which will probably be similar to this, just kind of explaining who I am and where I've been and what's happened in the past year, because I severely neglected my previous blog. Yes, I hope maybe even by some miracle I find the time to write a blog post and get it all completely up and running. By the time I post this video I might be able to link it down below. Anyway, I don't know how this probably all makes absolutely no sense. I don't know why anyone would even want to listen to this, but I don't know, maybe you found it interesting, but that's like a bit more about kind of my circumstances, I guess, at the moment. Yeah, that's me. I hope you've enjoyed watching this. I've still been like kind of hiding away in terms of this YouTube thing. I honestly don't know who would watch my videos. I'm always scared of people watching it, but so I don't really kind of project or tag, I guess, my videos on other social media channels, but I guess there's kind of no point doing this unless someone watches it. And I never know, like me rambling away while I'm having like a tissue paper explosion, that might help somebody else about my very eventful year. Yeah, I hope this video has helped in some way. It's more of like a chatty, relaxed one. I've actually enjoyed this better. I might have to keep this in mind, that I'm a bit better talking while busy. That's kind of the story of my life. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos. I always feel so weird saying that. And yeah, hopefully you'll see another one soon. I don't have any idea, so if anyone would like to comment an idea of something you'd want to hear about, then or yeah, for me to do a video on, that would be great, because I'm feeling a little bit more stuck for ideas. Okay, thank you for watching and crafting with me. I realise I've talked about a lot of like pretty big stuff, and I'm kind of glossing all over it with a bit of humour, which is kind of what I often do as a coping mechanism. Don't know if it's the best one, but it seems to get me through. To try and see the funny side of my life and life in general. But honestly, like, don't lose hope. I didn't think I would be sitting here. Like, yeah. And I am, and I'm just about happy to be here. My life isn't amazing or brilliant or glamorous, but I've got a chance just like anybody else. And so yeah, if you're struggling in any way, just honestly reach out to anyone, like just someone. It's so important, and they would always rather that you did rather than you didn't. And yeah, when you're struggling, it's like sometimes you need someone else to hold on for that hope. If you've lost all hope for yourself, then you might need someone else to hold on to that, and that hope for you to get better for your life, until you're able to find it yourself again. Gosh, that was a bit cheesy. I don't know if that made any sense. I'll probably cut that bit out. Anyway, yeah, hope you've enjoyed watching, and hopefully speak soon.